down to the store, grocery shopping, at the movies. So yes, I'm making sure you're still alive and ready to move. Of course, we have an amazing young lady who's coming before us. So we've been hearing all day about entrepreneurs and the incredible things that they do and how people have started their journeys, but apparently, yes, she started her journey a lot sooner than the majority of our speakers today. So Miss Essynce, thank you so much for coming all the way from Jersey. Welcome to Boston. This is her first time here, and we are excited to have you with us. The floor is yours, my dear.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How are you? Good, good. I'm great. I'm on spring break. My name is Essynce Moore. I'm 14 years old. I'm a freshman in high school. Freshman is what everyone else likes to call it. I am a fashion designer, author, actress, and motivational speaker. I started when I was 6 years old, and back then, such a long time ago, I was modeling sheets that I pulled off of my bed in front of my mom, and I wore them like gowns. What made my mom different? She didn't tell me to go make my bed. She didn't tell me to go clean my room. She encouraged me. She was like, okay, Essynce, okay, you do you. And that's when she started purchasing me sketchbooks, and I would design clothes, and I would design all these sorts of outfits. I designed jeans that, instead of having rips, they had zippers, and all this crazy stuff that just expressed who I was. Now, I heard a couple people in here want to be fashion designers. Who wants to be a fashion designer? Nobody? Is that not listening clearly? Okay, well, no matter what it is you want to accomplish your goals, it always starts with your mind and your heart. So that's what I want to address, how the sort of mind state you should have when you want to accomplish whatever it is you want to do. So first and foremost, staying focused. How many people in here have trouble staying focused? I know I do. In school, at home, if I don't find it interesting, if I find it boring, I don't want to partake in it. Like, I get super distracted, and my mind would just be elsewhere. Like, oh my goodness, my teacher will be talking, and my head will be somewhere else. Like, I'm literally imagining the craziest things. I will imagine a lion, like, jumping around the class. Whatever keeps me entertained, that's what I will run with. So, here's my tip for staying focused. Once you have your eye on the prize, everything else kind of just falls into place. You have to develop some sort of level of maturity to push you into a place where you can be focused, you can know what it is you need to get done, and you need to get it done. Because when you try to beat around the bush, I'm terrible when it comes to procrastinating. I procrastinate all the time. When it comes to stuff like that, you just have to push through it. You have to know what it is you want, know where it is you want to go, and once you see that, it just pulls you forward. So that's my advice for staying focused. And next, something that I think is very important is confidence. How many people in here are confident in themselves and what it is they do? Everyone's hand should be raised. Everyone's hand high with confidence. Raise your hand with confidence. Okay. Here's why confidence is so important. So many people want to tear you down. So many people want to tell you your dreams are too big. They want to look at you like you're crazy when you tell them what your dreams are. I remember being 6. Someone would always ask me what it is I wanted to do when I grew up. And I would just look at them because why would I want to wait till I grew up? Why can't I do it now? And no one ever had an answer for that. It was always, what do you want to be when you grow up? When really, you can start now. You can. And it's just, you really have to love what you do. And your confidence, it shows that. It shows that you love it. Because if you're confident in yourself and what it is you do, someone else will be. If someone's offering you a product but is unsure about the product they're selling, why would you want to purchase it? You're going to go towards the person who's telling you, you need this. This is all you right here. This is the best thing in the world. And that is what will sell. That is how you get your target audience. And also positivity. Who knows what optimism is? Who wants to tell me? All hands just went down. I saw you guys participating earlier. We have to keep the energy up, okay? As part of being an optimist. So someone over here, who wants to tell me what an optimist is? Nobody? Nobody? Come on, guys. I participate more in school than this. Come on. What is optimism? No one knows.
Seeing the good in everything.
Seeing the good in everything. And that is not always the easiest thing to do. Because sometimes it feels like we get pushed into these corners and all we could do is look around and think, there's nothing we can do about this. But that's not the mind state you want. And it's so hard sometimes because you get so lost in what is around you, the people around you, and you feed off of the energy in your surroundings. It may not be intentional, but sometimes you do it. And that's not always the best thing in the world. I remember it was in my 8th grade year. I was at lunch, and I was just in those moods where I didn't really want to talk. I was tired, it's been a long day, so I wasn't talking. And since I wasn't talking, I was forced to listen. And when I listened to the conversations my friends had around me about who the most attractive person was in the school, and all the slang that was going on, the most recent fight that took place in my school, I just started thinking, I could care less about this. Why is this so important? Why is this all people ever talk about? And I was feeding off of that energy. I was hearing those things, and I remember I wanted to scream because it was just, is this all there is? Is this what this generation has become? Fighting and social media. When I'm with my friends, we spend more time on our phones than we do talking to each other. And it's like the minute a phone dies, the world has come to an end. Everyone's in a terrible mood. No one knows how to socialize. Everyone's just socially awkward. What can we do? Essence, do you have food? Can we turn on a movie? What's the Wi-Fi password? Oh my God, that's the first question I get when people come over. And my mom and I, we actually haven't had cable in almost 3 years. So we have a Fire Stick. We do cheat, you know. We all get our guilty pleasures, our entertainment. But without having the cable on, without having that outlet, we get to see what's around us. And we get to think what it is we can do to change what is around us. And I've loved reading since I was little. I remember the first book I ever read entirely was Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss. And I read it over and over and over again just because I was so amazed that I could read. And now, a lot of people, a lot of my friends, reading is like lifting weights. In fact, it's harder. Getting someone to pick up a book and be interested in it, it's rare. I made a friend a couple weeks ago, and recently I just found out that he likes to read. And finding out that someone else in my generation likes to read, I was surprised. Like, oh my God, I'm not the only one. Okay, I get it. And I always have to like quiz people too, like, so what's your favorite book? What's your favorite author? Why? Why? Because I ask people if they like to read, and they'll tell me about a book they had to read in class. Okay, that doesn't count. So just having that positive mind state, just having that confidence, it could benefit you so much. Because when you're looking around you and all you see is fights in school and F's on your paper, you begin to think that that defines who you are. That is not what defines who you are. And something that a lot of people actually don't know about me, see, here's the thing, I'm very blunt, I'm honest. I don't like school. I'm an honor roll student. I get good grades because I know that's something I need to do, and I know it's something that looks good, but I don't like it. It's not for me. I don't like the energy that's in there. I don't like how much pressure people put on themselves, and I've seen people break down over grades. Like, they see this number on their paper, and all of a sudden they think this is who they are, this is what they are, and all hope, all confidence, it goes out the door. And the teachers, they want to help, but I feel like they no longer know how to. No one knows how to reach out to our youth. No one knows what to say, what to do. And I think part of that also has to do with the phones as well. We're so used to texting our emotions, posting online how it is we feel. And when you're posting, when you're venting all of your emotions and feelings, what's going on, the people who are following you, those people who are watching, they're eating popcorn and being entertained by you. because you are putting all of your entertainment, all of your drama out for them to see. That is no one's problem but your own. And the more, like what we learned before, it's important to vent, but make sure you do that with someone you can trust, someone you care about. Because I've seen conversations that were vented to friends be posted on social media. Snapchats. Oh, why is she talking to me about her problem? Why should I care? Does she know I have my own stuff to do? And that is why you choose your friends wisely as well. My mother, it was recently, she taught me the difference between having associates and having friends. Because if you would have asked me a year ago, everybody was my friend. Everybody was my best friend. And that's when I started to have those expectations from them as well. When I was celebrating, they were there. When I had my birthday parties, they were there. But when I was breaking down in my room because I wasn't where I wanted to be with my career, where were they? They weren't there. They were on social media at the mall with their other friends. They were doing whatever it was that had no positive influence on me. And it's like the minute you call them with something that's not great and smiles and laughs, they don't want any part of it. Because everyone wants to cower away from these emotions rather than face them straight on. And I think that's the problem. We get so used to telling everyone, I'm fine, I'm okay, that we convince ourselves we are until we break. And that's when we're hiding in the bathroom at school where no one can see us. One of our real friends is out in the classroom looking for us, and we've just disappeared. We've told ourselves, I can't do it. This is too much for me. Well, I'm here to tell you it's not, because you're here right now. You've been past that, you did that, and there's going to be more of that, but now you're prepared for it. Life is all about learning, it's all about adapting, and me writing, that's how I express everything I've learned, everything I've done. My mom always tells me to stay focused, right? Staying focused is important. But then there's that crush at school. There's that, oh my God, what am I going to wear today? And you get distracted by all of these things that you lose that goal. You lose your eye for it. And that is not something you want to lose because you are always going to be with yourself. Your friends, they aren't always going to be your friends. But that at the end of the day, when you're by yourself, when you're trying to figure out what to do, it is you, your mind, and your heart. And life is about figuring out how to work with all of that. How many of you ever feel like there's a constant battle between your mind and your heart? What you want to do versus what you need to do. Sometimes it's hard figuring out whether or not you should try harder to solve a problem or determine whether or not this is a problem even worth solving. We get stuck in these bubbles and no one can pop us out of them other than ourselves. That's why it's so important to me to work on the minds and the heart because these are things that don't go away. These are things that are always going to be with you. And that's also why I'm fascinated with the mind as well because perspective is so interesting to me. The way you view your problems versus someone else. And even though you can do your best to understand someone, you could be there for your friend, you can never truly understand what someone is going through until you are that person. Till you're feeling the same things they do, till you're thinking the same things they do. Because yes, you may have been in the same situation, but it hits everybody differently. And once we recognize that we're individuals and we see things differently, that's when we can start helping one another. In school, so much goes on in school. And I'm always paying attention to things no one really pays attention to. How someone laughs when they hear people making fun of them, but it's not really a ha-ha laugh. It's more of a maybe if I laugh too, they'll forget about it. Maybe if I think it's funny too, they'll forget about it. And then later on I'm getting texts from my friends of them telling me how what someone said hurt them. Why did you laugh? Because now they're going to keep doing it. I feel like we should be more open about our emotions, but that's not an easy thing to do. Because no one wants to come off as vulnerable, no one wants to come off as weak. Because all of a sudden when we do, we live in a world where you become a target. And it's very unfortunate. And I feel that we should address these problems and take them on straight on because that is the step to solving them. How can we fix this if we're pretending it's not there? And that was my problem in 8th grade when I was 13. Everyone was playing the I don't care card. Who could go the longest without caring? Who could pretend it's funny? Who could pretend it doesn't hurt? And then everyone would save their tears for when they got home. What I did with my tears is I wrote. That's how I got it all out. And I'd listen to music, and sometimes it would be sad music, and it wouldn't be to make me sad. It would be so I could just let it out. I could understand that I'm not the only one. And it was such a beautiful feeling because my poems, my stories, that was how I grew. That was how I grew from that situation. And here's my problem with the movies. We see someone with a problem, and when they get over that problem, it's like, okay, the world is great again. See, in reality, even when you get over that problem, sometimes it could be at the most random moment. You could be in a line at the store, you can see an old text message, an old conversation, and it'll come back. And for that split second, you're feeling everything you felt once again. Because it takes time to truly get over something. We always try to rush it. We always try to throw it in the back of our heads. But really, acceptance is so important. Because when we accept it, we can move on from it. You guys got what I said? Okay. And another thing, before you help others, make sure you get yourself together. Because I made this mistake so many times. I wanted to help people who couldn't even help me. And I'd be giving people advice that I should be telling myself. Because you want to help others, you want to do this out of the kindness of your heart, that you continuously tell yourself it's an obligation. And a good friend once told me, you are not obligated to do anything. It is your choice. There are always decisions. There are always options. And if you can take anything from Adam today, what I think life is about is your happiness. And that's what I always say my biggest goal is. Because no matter where I end up, who I become, what it is I do, I want to be happy. I want to be happy with myself, with who I am. And once I do that, I will be on top of the world. It's not about how much money you make. It's not about how many people you know, or what it is you do, or where you live. It's about how you feel about yourself. Because on my good days, I could be in the dark, surrounded by people with negative thoughts, negative energy. But if I'm content with who I am and what it is I'm doing, I am that light in that dark place. And that is what I want to encourage everyone to be, that light in that dark place, because others need that light just as much as you need it for yourself. And another friend told me that I am a shark, because sharks go after what it is they want. And here's something not too many people know about sharks. In their teeth, there's always little fish feeding off of what it is they feed off of. And you never know if someone's swimming with you or feeding off what it is you have. And it's important to identify who those people are, because sometimes you get yourself in deep situations where there's no turning back. And that's the thing with time. That is the one thing we can't change, the one thing we can't reverse, because once something is done, it is done. And I don't think you should have regrets, because the way I see it, everything we experience, we learn something new. And I wouldn't trade my knowledge for anything, because knowledge is power. I'm sure we've all heard that before, but it is. And if you're in an argument with someone, when I'm in an argument with someone, I don't get in arguments. I have debates. I have discussions. When I'm in that situation, I use my intelligence, because everyone can fade you, everyone can curse you out, but when you're stating facts, things that are accurate, things that are true, no one can beat you. And you have to decide also what arguments are worth debating over, what's worth fighting for. Because if someone doesn't want to be helped, you can't help them. Because those are things you do for yourself. Those are things you have for yourself. And finally, I just want to say that at the end of the day, what we can see is less than half of what there is. I've been in New Jersey all my life. And don't get me wrong, I love it. But there are so many people who only see New Jersey. Me, I want to travel. I want to go to different countries. I want to speak multiple languages. There are so many things I want to do. And when I'm borderline ready to quit, thinking I've sacrificed so much and I still am not entirely where it is I want to be, I see where I started in the first place, how far I've gotten. And I once heard this quote, if you never look back, how will you see how far you've come? And sometimes that's important to do. It's important to look back at all your accomplishments, all of your memories, because sometimes when you need them, they're always going to be there. And if you're ever wondering, why did you start this in the first place? That's why vision boards are so important, to show you where it is you're going. Know where you came from and know where you're going. I have so many dreams I want to accomplish, so many things I want to do. So when I'm breaking down, that's exactly what I think about. What's worth fighting for? What is important to me? Because when I get there, I know it's going to be worth it. I know it's going to be amazing. And all of this I'm going through, it is just preparing me for what I asked for. And that is something that is very important to me. So, something I always say is my age is just a blanket covering what I am truly capable of. So your age, your grades, none of that defines who you are. You do that. So thank you.